Tawagin ko po ang aming current volunteer ngayon na si Bea. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the fourth installment of our year-long webinar series in celebration with JVP for 45th year of service to the church in our country. It's wonderful to have you with us today as we continue to explore ways to deepen our commitment to service and care for our communities and environment. Again, I am Bea Roa, a proud batch 45 volunteer currently mission to Ateneo de Iloilo as a campus minister. Part of our apostolate includes promoting Laudato Si, Pope Francis' call to care for our common home. And today's webinar, Healing Creation, Ending Plastic Pollution Together, offers an excellent opportunity for us all to gain insight and take action on this crucial issue. We are honored to have two esteemed speakers join us today. First, we'll hear from Lia Jasmin Esquillo, a dedicated environmentalist and JVP Batch 14 alumna. Lia currently serves as a Global Programs Director for the International Pollutants Elimination Network, or IPEN, an international coalition of NGOs working to address chemical and waste issues worldwide. She will enlighten us on the damaging effects of plastic pollution and share global initiatives tackling this critical environmental threat. Next, we have Arnie Cancho, a former bank executive who transitioned to advocacy-driven work as a co-founder of Back to Basics Eco Store, a top graduate of Zero Waste Academy Asian Pacific Cohort 2022 to 2023. Laarni will offer practical advice on reducing our reliance on single-use plastics, empowering us to embrace more sustainable, plastic-free lifestyles. We hope today's session inspires each of us to join hands in the fight against plastic pollution and commit to meaningful action. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let's get started. So, Miss Lia?
So hello everyone, good morning. I'm very glad to be with you all celebrating this part of this series of celebrating our anniversary. Masaya ako na makasama kayong mga fellow JVPers and also friends. I see Tita Bebs, hello, and I also see Zari. So yeah, I was batch 14 when I was JVP. I was assigned in Ateneo de Davao. And katulad ng marami sa atin, as we say, I was ruined for life after that experience. I am an environmentalist. I work as program director for IPEN, a global network. But I also wear another hat. I have a passion project. I am one of the co-founders and co-owners of Back to Basics Eco Store. Sige. So for this morning, I will be discussing with you what the plastics problem is all about. Okay. I will also share some recent developments that would maybe provide us hope, for the future. I will also discuss what can be done, and I will end with a summary video that summarizes the key points that I want to share with you, the key messages I want to leave with you this morning. Sige, let's begin I have a couple of questions for you. So I will show you a series of photos, and you tell me if what you see in the screen is a problem or not. Okay? You may type in the chat box or also unmute yourselves and answer. Okay. Dito sa picture na to, so there's plastic trash by the sea. Is this a problem or not?
Problem.
Okay. Bakit? Just a quick answer. Sorry? I didn't hear. So problema yan, no? Yeah. Okay, how about this one? So ito hindi naman mukhang basura yung mga hawak ng mga tao na plastics. On the left, there's a Rubik's Cube. On the right, a baby is drinking from a plastic feeding bottle. Is this a problem?
Problem.
But why? Who said that? Bakit po siya problema?
Mitch po.
Yeah, Mitch?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Using infant formula, I think will lessen the immunity.
Okay.
Hindi na ma-maximize yung immune system ng bata kapag nasanay siya sa infant formula.
Okay. So one is related dun sa kung anong iniinom ng bata, no? Okay, thank you. I also see Zari could be a problem. Plastic may contain toxic chemicals. Okay, any other views on this? Do you see any problems associated, plastic-related problems associated with these photos? Sige, let's move on. How about this one? So, may mama, no? There's a guy who's burning plastic scraps. Problema ba ito? Yes or no? And a quick answer to why.
Yes.
Yes? Why?
Nag-iinit po ng toxic gas yung pag-burn ng plastic niya.
Okay. Any other answers? Thank you for that. Any other answers? Yes, smoke pollution. Okay. Could cause air pollution and lead to health problems. Okay. Problem, release CO2 or greenhouse gases into the air. Galing. Okay. Sige. So, very good. Please hold on to your answers. Okay. Tandaan niyo yung mga sagot niyo. And then, you check yourself if you answered correctly after we go through the presentations. Okay. Sige. So, let's dive into the topic. So, usually, when people talk about plastic pollution, the conversation revolves around the visible images of plastic and plastic waste. Diba? Kasi yun yung madaling makita. Nakikita naman natin siya. This is not taken in the Philippines, but it could very well have been. But behind this image, there is harm that you cannot see or that is not often talked about. Why? Because usually when people talk about plastic pollution, the mas yung visible aspects. Hindi natin napag-uusapan pa at wala masyadong discussion on what plastics are made of and the life cycle of plastics. So, what are plastics made of? All plastics are made of chemicals put together to make the plastic material. And many of these chemicals come from fossil fuels. So actually, yung life cycle of plastics actually start from extracting the fossil fuel because 99% of plastics ingredients come from fossil fuels. Tapos, so from extraction, ipoproduce yung plastic, more chemicals are added to the oil to give it different characteristics. So maraming chemical additives. So for example, chemicals to make the plastic hard, or if you want to make it soft, a softener. You want to make it fire resistant. You want to put chemical additives to make the color blue or yellow, all kinds. Based on a UN report, there are about 13,000 chemicals associated with plastics and the entire plastic production. So after the life cycle, so from production, gagamitin ito, and then pag hindi na kailangan, throw this, recycled, it might end up burned, incinerated. Many also are dumped no, exported to other countries, and many also end up in landfills and in the ocean. So in this entire process, maraming health impacts ang plastics, maraming impacts sa health and sa environment. Isa na lang, for example, just by knowing that plastics come from fossil fuels, alam na natin na malaki yung impact nito sa climate change. So reports from the UN and other groups detail the health impacts of plastics at each stage of the life cycle. Okay, so ano na po yan? So this is a report, one from the UN and this from another, from private research organizations. Dinetalye na po yan from well-known, parang well-established data, yung health impacts ng plastic from production, use, and disposal. Bottom line is that we are exposed to plastics in our everyday lives. Based on studies, chemicals such as bisphenol A, yung BPA, common yan na nakikita sa baby feeding products. Phthalates, PFAS, yung PFAS tawag din po dyan forever chemicals. These plastic chemicals have been linked to cancer, brain damage, infertility, and other serious conditions. So when plastic pollute our bodies and our communities, we lose the opportunity to live healthy and productive lives. Recently, I don't know if you monitored in the news yung microplastics. It has been found in the placenta, in our blood, in our brains, in our lungs, kidneys, feces, testicles of humans. Other than the health impact, well-known din po yung social and environmental justice impact ng buong life cycle of plastics. And kadalasan, yung vulnerable communities, no? So, poor communities around, for example, recycling facilities or plastic production manufacturing facilities are affected, no, by the toxic chemicals from these practices. I will share with you some of the stories para from in the head na knowledge of what these studies show. I will share with you some experiences we have from the ground. Dito po sa East Java, Indonesia, many of the residents often get sick. Okay? When they visit the doctor, hindi na nila kailangang sabihin kung ano yung symptoms nila. Alam na ng doktor kaagad ano yung sakit nila kasi common. They just say that they are from Tropodo. This is a village in East Java, and the doctors would know right away. Residents call Tropodo the city of smoke kasi there are at least 50 tofu factories in Tropodo, and imported plastic waste is used as fuel for their burners. Ito po yung pictures on the left. In another village in East Java, in Bangun, maraming itong pictures on the right. Villagers naman are surrounded by several paper manufacturing companies. Waste that cannot be used by the paper factories are turned over to the communities in Bangun. Villagers sort through the plastic for better quality material they can sell. Pero they often burn the piles of plastic waste to reduce the sheer volume of trash, clogging streets and piling up around houses. What we did in 2019, researchers collected and analyzed free-range chickens, so kita niyo po yung mga manok, from Bangun and Tropodo. These eggs collected in the two communities, okay, so free-range chicken eggs yan, chickens, and we tested their eggs. And the eggs collected in the two communities were found to contain highly hazardous banned chemicals, including dioxins. Dioxins come from the burning of waste, flame retardants, and yung forever chemicals, yung PFOS. The level of dioxins in eggs collected near the tofu factory were similar to levels in eggs collected dun sa Vietnam, yung Agent Orange hotspot, which is considered one of the most dioxin-contaminated locations on Earth. This study is the first to demonstrate food chain contamination in Southeast Asia with high levels of hazardous chemicals as a consequence of waste mismanagement and plastic waste imports. And we published the reports, no, and several by IPEN and several local Indonesian organizations. One problematic aspect of the Indonesia story is that isang malaking factor sa problem ay yung waste dumping happening from global north to the global south. Why does this happen? Given that it is often economically unviable to recycle plastics. Sa totoo lang po, UN data shows that only 9% of plastic waste are recycled. So what happens is that wealthy countries export their plastic waste to low-income countries with even less technical and financial ability to manage it in an environmentally sound manner. So, ang nangyayari, saan napupunta yung mga supposed to be for recycling na plastic? It goes to these countries. So after China banned imports of plastic waste in 2017, currently plastic waste is flooding Southeast Asia. Pero buti na lang, we're not taking it sitting down. So these countries, our countries, are taking action and demanding that nations take back their waste. So hindi tayo garbage dump. But these experiences are not unique to Southeast and East Asia. Let's go to the experiences of our partners in another continent. So similar to the situation in Indonesia, plastic waste is poisoning food and threatening communities in Africa. Naglabas din kami ng report about it. Another study that we conducted revealed that toxic chemicals are also present in toys, kitchen utensils, and other consumer products sold in African markets. So ibig sabihin, even if it's new looking, so that Rubik's Cube na nilalaro nung bata, kahit parang mukha siyang bago, it exposes us to toxic chemicals and it contributes to plastic pollution. Because the point is, even if you recycle plastic, if it has toxic chemicals in it, the toxic chemicals get recycled into the new products. Ito po yung mga iba't ibang toxic chemicals na nahanap dun sa black plastic, dun sa products na tinest sa Africa. Many of these have been banned, no, since 2009 and some even earlier. So there are many other stories and data that I could share with you, pero wala tayong time. So if you want to check out more of our resources, you can visit our websites. So one bottom line, one key message is that plastics pose a serious threat, no, to human health and in the ecosystem. Pero akala natin so bad na yan, more is coming. So in the coming years, it's going to be critical how we manage plastic. As in the image you see here, plastic production is expected to double by 2040 and triple by 2050. So unless we change how we make and manage plastics, the problem of plastic pollution will keep on growing. So while we may think that it's a problem now, the problem is set to grow exponentially. So the question is, how could we possibly get out of this mess? In 2021, si Marcos Aureliana, siya po ay UN Human Rights Special Rapporteur on Toxic Substances and Human Rights. He presented a report to the United Nations, no? To the United Nations General Assembly on the stages of the plastic life cycle at yung impacts niya sa human rights. He called for drastic action on the plastics problem. He referred to the plastic problem as a plastic pandemic, and he reiterated the urgency to address the problem to prevent what he calls a human rights tragedy. So present po niya yung broad range of research, no? Ilan sa nabanggit ko na kanina, at saka yung damage that plastics are doing to human rights and in the environment, especially on the rights of the most vulnerable. He called on governments to negotiate a treaty, a legally binding instrument that addresses the whole life cycles of plastics. He called on businesses to clean up existing plastic pollution, pay reparations for harm, and make sure that plastic no longer damages our planet. And he said, above all, respect for human rights must be the center of any solutions. The following year, yung pong UN as an environment assembly made a historic resolution setting a path to a legally binding global treaty on plastic pollution. So part nung resolution na yon, nag-agree yung UN, yung mundo, na magkakaroon ng 2-year negotiation process such that by 2024, so this year, dapat, ay magkakaroon na ng treaty that will end plastic pollution. Such a plastic treaty has been referred to as the most important international multilateral environmental deal since the Paris Climate Accord. So ito po yung ilan sa mga photos ng inadopt yung UN resolution ng 2022. It was very historic and emotional moment because for many years we have been pushing for this. No. Ano po yung ilan sa mga laman ng UN resolution na magandang umpisa, no? Other than nagbigay siya ng 2-year period na magkaroon ng treaty. Una, sinabi ng resolution na dapat full life cycle ang approach, which is very good. Kanina, di ba, we explained that it's not just a problem at the end. It's not a waste problem. Upstream, sa umpisa pa lang, may mga kailangan ng solusyon dyan. Sinabi din ng resolution na kailangang mag-promote ng sustainable design of products and materials. At saka na dapat yung treaty should address and prevent the human health and adverse effects, no, ng plastic pollution. Kinilala din ng resolution na part ng plastic pollution yung microplastics. So, even si Antonio Gutierrez, no, the head of the United Nations, executive director, he said that he called on countries to close the tap. He said plastic are fossil fuels in another form, and we have to turn off the tap on plastic. Ito po yung 2-year schedule para supposed to be matapos yung treaty. So nag-umpisa yung negotiations. So nagbabalik-taktakan, nagne-negotiate ang different countries since 2022. May INC 1, International Negotiating Committee 1, up to 5. Yung 5th po ay mangyayari in 2 weeks. Supposed to be, it's the last negotiations. Mangyayari in 2 weeks sa Busan. These are some pictures of the NGOs, the public interest NGOs participating in the negotiations. I am fortunate to be part of the negotiation process. So, ano yung mga pwedeng gawin? Una, mahalaga itong plastics treaty. We feel this is a very important, it's a milestone for us if we are able to have this global legally binding agreement. Kasi nga yung plastic problem, it's not just sa isang bansa, no? We've seen the intergeographical, that it crosses geographic boundaries, no? So kailangan ng global control measures to address the plastic problem. Other than the plastics treaty, global plastics treaty, kailangan din ng national governments, no, to enact policies that minimize exposure to toxic chemicals in plastics and protect public health and the environment. Companies should also do their part and move away from the dependence on plastics and prioritize phasing out hazardous substances and redesigning plastic products. Consumers can also help in mainstreaming refill and reuse systems. Grabe po, actually exciting at very difficult and challenging yung nangyayaring negotiation process. Later, if we have time, I can share with you some of the tricky points, no, the tricky points dun sa negotiation process. But meanwhile, I will start winding down, and I will end by sharing with you a video that summarizes some of the points that we've been talking about.
We've all seen how plastics are polluting the planet, but they also contain invisible health threats. Plastics are mainly made from oil, mixed with thousands of chemicals, including many linked to cancer, brain damage, and infertility. Even worse, the oil and chemical industries plan to triple plastic production by 2050. Without even knowing it, we bring toxic chemicals into our homes and they're entering our bodies. They package the food and drinks we consume. They're in the synthetic fabric of the clothes we wear and in the bottles and toys we give our children. Yes, plastics are a public health threat throughout their entire life cycle. We can be exposed to toxic chemicals from the extraction and production processes, when we use plastic products and during their disposal. Chemicals in plastics don't go away, so recycling or disposing of plastics simply spreads the health problems around. The reality is plastic recycling is a hoax. It simply passes toxic chemicals on to others and poisons the circular economy. Western countries dump hazardous plastic waste on communities, threatening public health. And the oil and chemical industry's toxic plan is to burn the plastic waste as fuel, which is even more deadly. It poisons our air, food, and bodies, plus contributes to climate change. The current situation is totally out of control, but there are changes we can make now to intervene at all stages. We should have the right to know when plastics contain dangerous chemicals. We must demand global policies to end the use of toxic chemicals in plastics. We must hold plastic makers financially responsible for the harm done by their products. We need to ban toxic waste recycling and plastic waste fuels. We must also end subsidies for the fossil fuel industry to reduce the volume of plastics produced and invest in safer, more sustainable materials. Only then can we begin to create a truly circular economy, one that protects our planet, our health, and our future.
So with that, I end my presentation. I'd like to share with you a photo of a painting made by my friend si Shireen Go. She's also a JVP volunteer. So in the US, meron silang forever stamps. So what Shireen did is she made a painting of a stamp with a picture of our beloved Big Bird, who is dead because he ate plastic trash, which lasts forever, which came from human pollution. So thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you.
Kasi dry siya.
Thank you, Miss Lia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lia.
Miss Laarni. Mamaya na po yung question kay Miss Lia. Tapusin muna po natin yung ni Miss Laarni.
Good morning. Allow me to share my screen, please. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. I thank you, Lia, for your presentation. I am impressed ang ganda. And also from the prayer kanina, na-touched ako at maluha-luha. And I am thankful for this opportunity to present to the Jesuit Volunteers of the Philippines. I admire your organization. I've always been a fan of the AMDG, not because I came from Ateneo, but my son came from it. And talagang gusto ko lang po palagi yung all for the glory of God. Yeah. So let's start. I'll take off from where Lia ended. So Lia mentioned that yung plastics may forever and that kung saan nagsimula ang plastic na to. So saan nga ba nagsimula ang plastic na to? We said that noon, di ba sabi natin na sino ba sa atin ang nakapagsimula or na-witness ang evolution ng plastic? So nakita ko naman po medyo may range yung age bracket natin. So age reveal. So ako, I came from a time na bote pa noon, let's say mga Coke, no, or yung mga oil, where we would bring our bottles to sari-sari store and have it refilled. Or even sa Coke, may deposit because I need to return back the glass bottle. But then it transitioned one day, pagbili ko ng Coke, nilagay ng tindera sa plastic at may straw. And natuwa ako doon at the time. So, tuwan-tuwa ako because, wow, mobility. Diba? And there's no need for glass, parang yung breakage. Tapos, hindi ko na kailangan bumalik sa tindahan for refund. Ang simple and convenient. But little did we know that itong plastic na to, kahit naging helpful siya sa atin, it became uncontrolled and we became the problem. When we say we, it's because of the excessive consumption that we had over the years since the 1950s when plastic was introduced to society. So even so, we became a throwaway living when disposable items such as cutlery, plates, nauso, di ba? Hindi na maghuhugas ng pinggan. So everything to our convenience, but at the expense pala of our health, of our environment. So, may forever, so paano natin magagawa ng paraan yun? So this is a call to be part of the solution. Lia mentioned that we shouldn't lose heart. There's a battle, and we are hopeful of a positive result of the Global Plastic Treaty. And while these organizations like IPEN, Greenpeace continue to fight for our rights, to fight against the harm brought about by plastic, those are for the corporations kasi humongous ang problem natin dito. So hindi kaya ng tayo lang, isa lang, but it's a collective action. So you would say na ako lang to, isang straw, isang plastic bottle, but this is where collective action comes in. So be part of the solution. So we are now introducing reduce, reuse, refill, repeat. So to break free from the plastic cycle of pollution. So there will be challenges that we will go about pag napunta na tayo sa pagtiningnan natin araw-araw yung pamumuhay natin. But there are things that would make us feel good to keep the planet green. But this will entail unlearning some ways. So, sino lang po dito, raise of hand or at least comment, kung one way or another, na-experience po natin yung ganitong thoughts or naturo sa atin na pass up. Meron po ba? Like, ako po, admittedly, may mga naturo sa akin noon when I was young, parang feeling ko hindi naman kailangan ng plastic or itong mga, for example, sa Starbucks, may mga libreng sugar, bayad na yan kasama yan sa binayaran ko. So, kunin ko, dalhin ko, nasa sachet yun. Diba? So, it's part of what you paid for, so take it and use it. And then, there's also this concept na, it's paper anyway, it's not plastic. It can be recycled. But then, we have to take note that paper is also a tree. It came from trees, and pag tuloy-tuloy naman na pinalitan natin ng paper lahat. So we'll find ourselves na wala ng puno, wala ng kagubatan, which is important to the ecosystem. And of course, ito yung buy cheap, buy another one. Sasabihin ko kasi, ang mahal-mahal naman, makakabili ka na ng 2, 3. but not knowing na yung binibili natin ay, di ba, pag nasira, tapon, landfill, bili uli. Whereas if you invest in good ones, in quality products, it can last you more than years, no? And then that will reduce the amount of trash that goes to the landfill. So we have to unlearn some of those ways. And we need to relearn some basics. So, old-time adage ng mga galing sa magulang at lola natin, tapusin mo yung pagkain mo, huwag kang magtitira ng kalat or huwag kang magtitira, di ba? Kasi pala, ang laki ng contribution ng food waste sa um, sa greenhouse gas emissions, no, which contribute to climate change. Dati kasi, ang ano lang, which is true naman, no, ang daming taong naghihirap, ang daming hindi kumakain, that, ano lang, mindset. Pero with the problem of plastic pollution and even the climate crisis, pasok din pala itong hindi pagtapos or ng pagkain or pagtapon ng maraming pagkain sa pag-apekto sa environment. And then we also wash, clean, dry, reuse, repeat, create. So, pag parties, ang laki talagang ginhawa, right? Na yung mga disposable. So, pero ang sakit pala sa puso na right after you'll clean it up. And then, yan ang makikita mo, yung mga itatapon na foil, na plates, and plastic cutlery. So, 20 pounds ago when we did the cleanup, nung nasa bank pa ako, coastal cleanup, sa Navotas, nakita po namin na parang hopeful kami, no? Parang dagat ng basura pala yung dun sa Navotas. So there were 300 to 500 volunteers of us, each tasked to parang pick up trash, 3 to 10 sacks each. So parang ang dami nun. So and while picking up the waste, so andun, mga plastic labo, plastic cutlery, plates, napkins, diapers, sachets of shampoo, conditioner, coffee. Lahat na yon, single use. And then it dawned on me na ang daming pwede palang ma-avoid. But then I said, okay, may clean up naman. So after the clean up, pagkita ko, ang dami naming dala-dala, nilabas namin, pero parang walang nabawas. At all. It's still dagat ng basura, no dent. And then I realized that kahit everyday pa mag-coastal cleanup, if the inflow is greater than the outflow, na sabi nga ni Lia, i-recycle, which is not a real solution to this plastic problem. Hindi matatapos ang problema na yon at tayo rin ang mapapahamak. So, ano pwedeng magawa? Doon ko naisip, oh my God, it starts with me. Diba? Pwede kong bawasan tong plastic cutlery. Pwede kong hindi na bumili ng sachet ng kape or bibili ako yung the usual, no? Hindi ko kailangan ng 3-in-1, mas healthy pa. And the shampoo, parang gano'n, no? Pagta-travel, ita-transfer ko na lang. So, maraming bagay na na-realize ko nung time ng coastal cleanup. So, immersion is also helpful, no? In making one realize how big the problem is and how you can be part of the solution. And of course, proper place for everything. That living a zero waste lifestyle, it starts with segregation. Proper segregation of waste. While we have been taught yung sa solid waste management namin, nabubulok at di nabubulok. Pero yung di nabubulok, further segregate pa pala yun kasi nga ang recycling is tricky. And pag hindi maayos ang segregation, it will all end up in the landfill even if recyclable yung materials. So, how to get started to a plastic-free lifestyle? First is know your why. So, matrabaho actually kasi convenience ang inoffer sa atin ng plastic. But why bother with that inconvenience? What motivates you to break free from plastic? Ako po personally, nung nakita ko na ang dami ng plastic na pwedeng ma-avoid and nakita ko na ito yung mararanasan ng future generation ng mga anak at magiging apo ko, ayoko ng ganon. Diba? Parang, tapos, diba yung kaninang prayer, Song of Creation, na we are not able to live in harmony with ocean, water, diba? Even if parang tayo yung supreme being dito sa earth na dinesignate ni God, but that doesn't give us the right to destroy nature. We have to live in harmony with them. And by using a lot of these plastic products, we are destroying nature. So we need to get started. And to do that, we need to do a waste audit. So what is your usual plastic trash? It doesn't have to be really formal. Titingnan mo lang naman sa bahay, magsimula ka sa bahay or maybe sa office. And makikita mo, pag ginawa mo to, try nyo kahit mamaya, no? Tignan nyo lang yung dyan sa, ano ba yung usual na laman? So pag nakita nyo na maraming chips, foil, nare-recycle yan, i-donate mo dun sa mga ibang waste aggregators or recycling collection drop-off points. Pero marami palang chips. So yun nga, di ba? Recycling is the last resort. So pwede pang mabawasan yon and it's even healthier. Di ba? So what else? Paper, maraming bagay. So kayo po ang makakaalam kung ano yung marami sa trash nyo and unti-unti yung pwedeng mabawasan. Probably dishwashing. Mahilig kasi kayong kumain, magluto, maghugas, di ba? So do a waste audit. And then, choose your battle. Kasi pag nakita mo, ang grabe, ang dami naman, ang bigat-bigat, parang, ang hirap, ang dami nito. Pero saan ka ba madaling makakapagsimula? Sa chips ba? Kaya mo? Bawasan? Kung dati, 5 chips ang binibili mo a week, baka naman pwedeng kahit 4 lang muna or 3. Di ba? So, or yung sa dishwashing or sa mga shampoo, instead of buying sa sachet, pag magbibiyahe ka, try mo na lang na mag-refill sa maliit na reusable container. So, choose your battle and unti-unti makikita mo yung progress mo. So, we always say that it's progress over perfection. And of course, get surrounded with your own tribe. And the reason for this is sometimes nakaka-down po. Pag hindi po cooperative yung, yung mga kasama mo or parang nagugulat sila sa action mo. And I'll cite a certain example for that because you need to be anchored on your why. When I was in the bank before, dahil medyo nagsisimula yung awareness ko noon. So whenever I bring whenever I would baon sandwich, no, instead of yung ziplock na yung plastic, I would put it in a lock and lock. So hindi na Tupperware, lock and lock. So reusable yon, and then medyo mabigat. And then we would eat together with my friends. And then parang sabi niya, ba't ganyan? Bakit mo nilalagay dyan sa lock and lock? Sabi ko, why? What's wrong? Ang bigat niya, tapos parang ang hassle dalhin, di ba? Plastic naman may sandwich bag. Mas mura pa, hindi ka ba makabili? So that was an opportunity for me to explain my why. Yeah, so maybe some of them I was able to influence, maybe some not. But it always begins with a why. I'm rooted with my why. And yun nga, parang okay lang, wala akong ginagawang masama. So that is why it's important. But when you are in your tribe, uy, okay yan magaya nga din yan. Di ba? Yung mga open-minded na, okay pala yan, tama ka. Di ba? So, yun po, we simplify that plastic-free lifestyle approach, starting that para mabawasan po ang pag-consume natin ng plastic. May question po kami ni Lia. Baka lang po familiar sila. And we will give prize, Lia, tama ba? Sino mang makakaguess. Kung sino lang po una, patype na lang po sa chat. Patype na lang po sa chat. Kung meron pong familiar sa 5 R's in solid waste management, pwede po bang makahingi ng tulong? Determining ko sino po yung mananalo dito because we will give 500 gift voucher from Back to Basics Eco Store. Electronic, para walang papel. So, I cannot, ayan. So, baka po meron sa chat. Feel free to Google kung hindi kayo familiar. Unahan lang po. Pero, meron po bang, may sagot na po ba? May nag-participate na po ba? Sorry
Wala pa.
Okay, so
please type in what are the 5 R's in solid waste management.
Yeah. Okay lang po mag-Google help you find out. Refuse, may shine 4 lang po yan. Ayun. Refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, repurpose. Sige. Okay. For that, ang nakalimutan ko palang bagitin, dapat in the right order. In the right order. Ayun. Refuse, reuse, reduce, repurpose, recycle. Okay, I think this one is more correct because recycle is the last item. So, Miss Zara Marielle Luis, congratulations. So, thank you. There. Actually, pag titingnan mo, hindi
Thank
exactly.
you. Anak ko yan, 13 years old. Kaya active siya.
Ay, okay. Congrats, Miss Shine ba yan?
Oo.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So, that's why it's important also yung correct order ng hierarchy, no? So, we at Back to Basics believe that prevention is better than cure. So, for the plastic-free lifestyle, we always start with refuse. And then, of course, we reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. So, meron din yung ROT, yung composing, but since hindi natin siya topic, I'll stick with the repurpose and recycle. So, quickly, let's go by the each R one at a time. So, refuse the unnecessary. So, bago pa pumasok yung plastic sa economy, or meaning sa business, we can actually refuse it when not necessary. So I'll be giving classic examples na sometimes it's the little things that we take for granted. Pero pag makikita mo, pwede pa lang ma-avoid yon. Example, when you do when you do shopping sa mga malls, di ba? When you buy new things, for example, socks, yan, sa anak ko, bag, sock, back to school, ganyan. Normally, or damit, di ba? Normally, pag nakapili ka na, sasabihin ng sales lady, yan na po ba ma'am? Anong gagawin nila next pag sinabi mong ito na yung kukunin mo? What will they usually tell you? May I hear some answer? Para lang yung awareness. What will they do usually?
Ask for bag.
Yeah, ask for bag. Ilalagay po nila sa, thank you po, ilalagay po nila sa plastic bag. But my question, do you need that plastic bag? What will you do pagdating mo sa bahay, dun sa plastic bag na yon? Will you reuse it? The chances of you reusing it versus throwing it away, alin po doon? Di ba po?
Depends kung basa na
Maganda.
siya. Pwede i-reuse ulit, patuyuin mo lang, tapos itabi mo.
Opo. But how about kung, kunyari lang yan, yung sa mga, tas ang dami nila, 5 or yung nakalagay sa mga isa-isa, no, yung bawat isang damit, bags. Kunyari, 3 damit yung binili mo, 3 plastic yun, kahit maninipis naman, di ba? So, bawat isang damit, isang plastic. But do we really need, if it's for personal use, do we really need that plastic? Even if ma-reuse, because remember, we are in the first level of waste management.
So
But
refuse na lang. Refuse the bag and use your reusable bag.
Yes. Tama po yan, ma'am. Thank you. Sorry, di ko po nakita kung sinong sumagot, ma'am. But yeah, so sa department store, you may refuse. Pwede yan na huwag nang ilagay sa plastic yung mga items na bibilhin mo. Because kahit marireuse mo, it's still plastic. Diba? So let others use it, yung mga hindi pa ganun ka-aware, but you can avoid it, one plastic at a time. Even for sampler freebies and souvenirs and giveaways, so this is the season for giveaways, gifts. So kung kailangan mo ba talaga ng freebie na yon, or if you are the one giving the souvenir or giveaway, let's be mindful that kung pwedeng hindi plastic, na magagamit uli siya talaga. So usually sa mga companies, ball pens, di ba? Useful naman siya, pero usually it's single use, di ba? Mga ball pens na binibigay as freebie. So maraming ways to avoid that. And then, of course, the plastic bottle when you can use your own tumbler. Ito kasi very classic. For example, siguro ngayon mas nag-i-improve na, but in some conventions, marami pa rin, or seminars, ang siniserve ay nasa yung plastic bottle. Sa PET bottle, no? Na water. So instead na yung nire-refill na lang yung glass kasi para nga ma-avoid ang paghugas ng pinggan, ganyan, ay ng baso. And even sa airline, sa airplane, magbibigay sila niyan, pwede. When you can have your own tumbler and reuse it. So unless uhaw na ka na at wala ka talaga ibang means, it takes being mindful to really refuse that plastic bottle. It's one plastic bottle, but remember, even if it can be recycled, again, we cannot recycle our way out of this plastic pollution. Textile waste. Isa pa lang, yung parang ako noon, hindi ako aware na ang laki-laki pala ng textile waste, ng contribution ng textile waste sa greenhouse gas emission. No? So, nauso dati, di ba, yung mura lang, 3 for 100 na damit and all. Tapos, most of it, gawa rin pala sa plastic, no? Yung mga polyester, di ba, yung mga ganon. So, and nabanggit ni Lia kanina yung toxics yung harm done by the toxic plastic na usually nasa damit din natin. So, we can do our share in reducing textile waste by, I don't know if you've heard of clothes swaps. So there are some companies who are doing this already, but you can begin with your circle of friends kasi mas kakilala niyo siya. And then for one-time occasions, there's a free market na parang you can parang crowdsource. Meron po bang di na kailangan yan? You can even borrow, rent, or do ukay. So instead of buying a new one, no? And of course, if you can be more conscious of patronizing more fashion that's from upcycled textiles like katsa, even dead stock fabric, or yung mga upcycled from used clothes like yung ginagawa ng anthill fabric. So malaking bagay po yun para mabawasan ang textile waste, which is also, in general, plastic waste. Kasi nga karamihan gawa sa plastic. And then the ditch and switch, marami po ito. Pero siguro i-highlight po lang namin, of course, if you haven't started with a bamboo toothbrush, and there's also our parang alternative to toothpaste, no? And this is good for traveling, yung tooth tabs, equivalent to toothpaste, and that bottle is refillable. And then, of course, soaps. So, unpackaged soaps because generally, anong gagawin ko sa box ng soap? Pag uwi mo at gagamitin mo, you will just throw it away. So, it's either plastic or box. And the box, even if it's not plastic, again, puno pa rin yun. And we actively promote the use of loose leaf tea at Back to Basics Eco Store because one, mostly yung mga tea bags ngayon in the market are made out of plastics. And yun, di ba, nabanggit ni Lia kanina, how harmful plastic is, especially if it's exposed to heat. So, nagtsatsaa tayo, mainit yan, no? So imagine the amount of microplastics that get into your tea and you drink it when you are using tea bag instead of steepers, yung strainers, and loose leaf tea. Tapos, maganda pa dyan, diretso nyo yung laman ng loose leaf. Pagtapos nyo inumin yung tsaa, yung mga dahon, pwede nyo idiretso sa lupa. Kasi ano naman yan, mga dahon-dahon at bulaklak, compostable siya directly. And of course, reusable bags. So, hindi enough na we are using yung reusable bag pag wala tayong nakalimutan natin, bibili tayo sa grocery. Pero sinasabi, yung pag-produce ng reusable bags na yan requires a certain amount of energy na, kumbaga, hindi rin siya eco-friendly. So, it will take lots of uses for that reusable bag. So, think of it again. And then also, pag yung may mga giveaways, nauso yung mga eco bags, no? So, yung mga eco bags na yun, may plastic din yun. So, unless you will use it many, many times, hindi rin siya eco-friendly solution, no? Into being plastic-free. And now, since it's the Christmas season, we can resort to plastic-free gifting. So by choosing sustainable gifts that support local, from the content to packaging to ribbons and even gift tags, kung pwede. And we can also resort to gift vouchers, no, para mas mas practical. And hopefully, yung pagbibigyan niya ng gift vouchers, gamitin din niya sa mas eco-friendly way of purchasing items. And of course, experience is a good way to do plastic-free gifting. Marami na pong options dyan. And mainstreaming, reuse, and refill. So, by the way, sorry, nakalimutan ko po kanina. We will need the email address of C's. What's the name again? Sorry. Yung baby ni Shine.
Sorry.
So, yeah, Zara. Yeah, para sorry. So, para ma-send namin yung gift voucher. So, going back, the reuse and refill. So, if we can be more mindful in bringing our own tumblers, marami na po ako nakikita. So, I think this is a big accomplishment, no, sa atin ngayon. Marami na po ako nagdadala talaga ng tumblers. And of course, if you can repurpose, well, don't throw away the glass jars, no, and other reusable containers. You can use it for your own, for yourself, no, or maybe donate it to like organizations or enterprises like us who can reuse and repurpose. Okay, and then of course, ito yung nabanggit ko kanina, yung pens. So, maybe the younger ones would be more familiar that there are refillable pens. So, bawas pa rin yun, no? Plastic yan eh. So, tapos usually yung mga cheap pens, mabilis din maubos yung tinta and tag dito, hindi nauubos. Yung parang mabilis maubos yung tinta kahit hindi pa naman talaga yung ubos dun sa linya. So, if you can resort to good quality pens na refillable, that would be a big reduction in plastic waste. So we promote the normalizing refills. Extra promotion lang po yan for back to basics. And switch to reusables. So this is from a personal experience. Since 2018, ito po yung mga nagagamit po sa bahay namin. So these are the things that you can consider, like table napkins. So meron po tayong magagandang table napkins usually for the guests, but for everyday use na pwedeng mamantsahan ako ng anak ko. So meron din akong designated for that. So other than being good for the pocket, because we've saved a lot, kasi lahat po yan up to now, 2024, still in use. Tingnan niyo po yung amount na mababawas yung kunyari, napkin, table napkins. Paper yan, pero di ba, bibilin mo yan nakabalot sa plastic. Cotton rounds, panglinis ng makeup. So, compostable naman yung cotton, pero nakabalot pa rin yan sa plastic. And of course, wipes. Yan, yung wipes, usually, bihira dyan yung bihira dyan yung walang plastic sa loob, no? So, kung mga for dirty hands lang naman, di ba, pwedeng basain. So, I use that when, pinanganak yung bunso ko. So, instead of yung wipes, may dala po ako yan, tsaka yung spray ng tubig or alcohol. So, those are some ideas in switching to reusables. And for the girls here, especially for the young ones, this is girl talk. This is a big, lalo na, nabanggit ni Lia yung toxins that come from products made from plastic. So, I'll really point out yung dyan, mga napkins dyan. So, when you switch to pads or even menstrual cup, malaki po ang mababawas yan sa plastic. Yan po yung isa sa mga marami sa napulot namin sa nabotas noon. Tapos, it is also good for one's health, no? So it reduces itching. Sorry, we're all adults here on the private parts because hindi makati yung tela versus yung plastic, no? So yun po. So hindi ko na isa-isa yung savings, but over time, ako po yung mga I've been using my pads for 8 years na, no? Ako na po yung nagsasawa sa itsura nila, but I still continue to use them kung makakasave. Even my menstrual cup, no? So, hindi pa po ako menopause. And last resort would be recycling. So marami po, if you're not aware yet, so meron na po, marami na rin po sila like the trash to cashback. Meron po niyan marami sa City Hall, even sa UP, meron po niyan. And even sa Ateneo, the AIS, they organize events, we participate there. They also parang they collaborate with recycling companies, no, to accept donations of recyclable materials. So instead of putting it in the trash, it takes mindfulness in segregating your trash and bringing them to recycling drop-off points. So yan po yung ibang sample. So ko lang po na it's going back to basics, is good for the pocket, people, and planet. And it's important that once you started, it's important that you sustain the lifestyle. So mahalaga po if you join a community, watch and learn, kagaya po ng pinakita ni Lia, host or attend events on zero waste, kagaya po nito. And of course, follow credible and trustworthy social media accounts like sa IPEN, Greenpeace. Yeah. So these are samples po. Marami po kasing easy switch, no? So these are just samples and marami pa po. And yeah, collectively, as I mentioned, the world is a reflection of who we are. So collectively, so it starts from within, even change starts from within. So let's work together for a plastic-free future. And of course, it pays to be healthy because it reduces the need for medicines and other medical paraphernalia na gawa sa plastic na hindi talaga natin maabutan because health comes first. And it helps us to be mindful, focused, and intentional. No? So when we are healthy. So there. So these are the 5 founders of Back to Basics Eco Store. So we are committed to making our customers' journey zero waste journey easy and convenient. Thank you po. So ano lang yan, sample lang yan. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Miss Lia. Kila Arnie. So, we're open na po for questions or clarifications.
Hello, ako na naman. Sorry, ang kulit ko. Pero, kasi excited ako. Actually, I've been reposting about your talk today sa mga chat groups. Because I've been, when I heard this talk before kay Lia, din siya kay Arnie, nakaka-inspire. Pero, so I try, no? So, nagre-refill kami ng mga kitchen essentials, bath essentials from your store sa Maginhawa. But as you mentioned also, parang malaking factor kasi to convince people to switch to or even attempt no to switch or change into a zero waste lifestyle is yung convenience, 'di ba? Yung availability of this kind of maganda yung store for those who maybe are not familiar yet. So may store sila na parang yun nga refill, grocery, siya ganyan, sa
Thank you,
Maginhawa.
Shine.
Pero paano yung mga malayo? Sa yun. So, saan pa kaya merong ganyan? And paano ba natin maggawing mas accessible sa mga tao?
Yeah, Shine. Number one, thank you, for promoting BTV and for being a valued client of the store. So yeah, that's really a challenge. So kaya po at BTV we just for your information, we also deliver, no? But of course, syempre yung delivery, ibig sabihin, paano yun? Paano yung mga containers ko? Paano magagamit? So the setback there is hindi mo mapapad-upin unless you will spend for the trip na, the delivery of your containers, which some do. One way lang yung kumbaga yung papunta mo na kumbaga naka-refill ka pero hindi nabawasan yung inipon mo na galon or containers para sana magamit uli. So that's really a challenge. So in fact, it's a logistics problem that we want. And we hope actually, if it's just in the NCR, di ba Lia, we're coming, hindi lang natuloy ngayon, yung subscription program where we can do take back arrangement from our customers if you parang enroll or subscribe to BTB services. And then sa others, meron naman po, kaya lang dito sa Metro Manila, konti pa lang po talaga yung parang BTB. Meron po sa Makati, pero bago lang siya Croft, pero mostly food lang siya. Yeah, and kahit no. Sa Makati, meron din po sa Heyday. It's inside Glorieta. It's a big store. So para siyang combination ng BTB, healthy options, and lahat na. So, but yeah, sorry, Mishine, talagang limited pa lang. And we hope mas madami pa yung store. Sa Baguio, pag naligaw po kayo sa Baguio, meron din po itong zero waste store, tingi station.
Baka sana someday magka-ano kayo, pwede na kayo mag-offer ng franchise. Di ba? Yun yung suggestion sa dating talk, di ba?
Yeah, Lia, ano ba? Franchise na ba?
Oo nga eh. At saka ang isa din naming dream, Shine everyone, is mobile refillery. So we can go nearer, no? We can be nearer to you, near condominiums, barangay, schools. Tapos ang dream nga namin, 'di ba? So yung mobile refillery, electric vehicle pa ang gagamitin, no? So ano talaga, many green elements.
Siguro, i-share ko na lang din kasi minsan, since like me, kung wala naman akong time to go to the store and refill, pinapadala ko yung either empty containers, tapos I leave them with the store, and then after, a day or 2 days, so meron naman yung staff nila, sila yung nagre-refill ng mga containers, then I have it picked up na lang another day, pag ready na. Minsan naman, wala akong ready na container. Ginagamit ko pa pero mauubos na. So, bumibili na lang din ako from the store, knowing kasi that all their products are in reused containers. Or, diba? So, hindi ako nagko-consume ng bago na naman na plastic, but rather, alam ko, yun, gamit na, di ba? You're not adding to the pollution. And then, yung pag naubos na yung talagang wala na, empty na yung whatever container I have, siya ako nalang pinapadala. So, ganun. So, it's either refill or buy reused, a product in a reused container. So, okay din naman yun, di ba?
Yes, definitely yes. Yeah. Part of the zero waste lifestyle is reducing our use of virgin resources and maximizing the use of resources. So by reusing hanggat pwede, that's maximizing yung use of the resource.
Okay.
Miss Laarni and Miss Lia, meron po dito na from Galaxy Tab. Strike while the iron is hot. Very informative and very interesting. Hoping that this can be shared to many. As you said, we start with the whys and then the hows. Can you invite us as speakers in parishes, organization, or can you share your PowerPoint to be used as reference? Thank you.
Yes, definitely yes po. You may share away itong PowerPoint. Di ba? And then, yes, we can be invited also as speakers. We very much welcome invites to like this, no? Sharing. Of course, we're not perfect, no? And we are not, kumbaga, hindi kami, ano ba yun? There's a disclaimer, no, na just because we are doing this talk, doesn't mean na wala kang makikitang kalat sa bahay namin or kasi nga, hindi naman perfect yung ano natin, economy natin. In fact, yung bahay ko mukhang materials recovery facility because of the segregation. But yes, opo, yes po dun sa tanong. Lia or Arnie, pwede po, kahit sino po sa amin.
Meron pong nag-raise ng hand from Samsung. Yes po. May ano po yung tanong nyo?
Hello? Good morning.
Yes po, good morning po.
No, medyo po ang net. Hindi ko naririnig ang may gusto lang po akong sabihin. Sa napakalaking problema natin sa environment, meron pa palang maidadagdag. Akala ko ang dami-dami na nating alam. Pero ngayon, may natutunan pa ako na kahit pala yung recycling ay hindi siya total, hindi siya kumpletong solusyon. Hindi natin na-eradicate ang nalilesen lang siguro yung plastic problem. So, isa yon. Pangalawa, ay nasa komunidad ako ng napakaraming mahihirap. At ang only option left is to avail of products na talagang plastic. Plastic ang lalagyan. Literally talagang lumulubog tayo sa plastic. Pero I refuse to be overwhelmed by that problem. Kaya mas gusto kong pagtutuunan ng pansin yung mga initiatives na parang ang sarap mangarap na magkakaroon ng franchising ng mga facilities na operating na sa ibang lugar at padadala dito sa amin sa Naga. Although marami na rin ditong mga initiatives. Pero siguro isa yon talaga yung point ko is napakahalaga na merong komunidad, merong mga kasama na pwedeng kunan ng suporta. So ang isa kong suggestion po, baka kakayanin sa hinaharap, ay mag-ipon tayo ng mga success stories. Yung talagang ibig sabihin ko ng success story ay yung nagpapatuloy. Kasi ilang dekada na po itong ating consciousness raising, advocacy. Marami na rin nasimulan, pero bibihira pa po ang nakita kong nagpatuloy. So, pwede ba tating pagtulong-tulungan na makapagkolekta tayo ng mga documentary o kaya i-document natin yung mga naging viable talaga sa ating Philippine setting. Yan lang po. Salamat.
Salamat po. So, meron pa po ba?
Ako may just a few comments.
Sure po. Sige lang po.
Siguro una thank you no for sharing your thoughts and reflections. Totoo yung kasi naano tayo nasanay dun sa message na recycling is the problem. At kahit sa international negotiations, yung mga countries whose economy depend on oil and sila yung nagpo-produce ng chemicals, sila din yung nagko-continue to say na ang solusyon dun sa plastic crisis ay downstream measures na recycling lang dapat o kaya dapat lagyan ng funds ang more recycling procedures or sunugin na lang or magkaroon ng chemical recycling. So pag yun ang solusyon, alam mo sila kasi yung mga countries who will be affected economically, no, because they're the oil producing, they're the ones who produce the chemicals who cause this pollution. So medyo malakas talaga yung push, malakas din. Malakas yung ganong mindset, no, na kasi nasanay tayo for years na akala natin yun nga ang solusyon. We're glad na nakatulong tayo ngayon to help debunk that myth. Meron na pong may compilation ang Gaia na meron coffee table book na kino-compile yung mga yung mga initiatives, no, of mga refillery stations around the Philippines. So isa yung dito, yung BTB, meron din yung sa Dumaguete na nakaka-inspire. So meron din tong online, so I can share with you po yung online version ng coffee table book. Totoo, ang sarap mangarap, no? Parang very inspiring na mangarap. Talaga naman, I think yun, daan ng Diyos sa atin, so we are inspired by God to do good works. Kami pong 5, yung BTB women, nag-umpisa din namang mangarap individually, and then nagtagpo kami, no, na-realize namin, ay pare-pareho pala yung pangarap natin. Sige nga, let's be brave and try to do something together. So that's why we started noong 2019. Kayo po dyan sa Naga ay parang based kayo sa Naga. You know, you don't need to wait for us to have a franchise to be able to put up a franchise there. Mangarap din po kayo. Maybe you could start and put up, maybe check with friends. Baka malaman nyo na meron ding mga people around you who share the same dream and start putting up or plan to put up refillery. And you can start small the same way we did. We started small. Isa din pong ginagawa namin recently ay also tumutulong paunti-unti hanggang sa makakaya lang namin to also like share our story in terms of how we started up putting this social enterprise. So continue to dream and babasbasan po yan ng biyaya ng Diyos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Lia. Yes po, Miss Mona.
Hi, good morning. Ayun. Actually, isa rin akong environmentalist. Pero hindi ko nakikita pa yung community kung saan ako dapat maging bahagi. And I really appreciate na merong ganito ang JVP. Thank you, Blas. And Miss Lia, napakaganda ng information na binigay mo, the same with Miss Laarni. Ang ko lang dito kasi very very limited yung time dito sa Zoom. Sana meron din kayong plan na siguro like a summit ba or conference of same-minded people, parang pooling of great minds of environmentalists. Baka mas maraming madidiscuss at maraming plano na magagawa kung ito maging hindi lang sa Zoom mangyayari. Like sa PICC or kung saan man na talagang mag-interact. Maganda rin yung sinabi ni Ma'am kanina na yung in Miss Shine, yung sa franchise. Kasi maraming mga, siguro maraming mga funds na pwede rin mag-start sa business like yung sa BTB. Like dito sa amin, malayo kami sa Manila, so wala talaga kaming, hindi namin ma-access yung BTB. But possible siguro, baka merong may resources dyan na gagawa sila ng store, the same as BTB. Pero, kailangan lang sigurong ma-share nila Miss Laarni kung paano ba to ginagawa, ano yung system nito. Siguro, malaman lang siguro ng mga tao na willing din mag-invest sa mga ganitong business na talagang nagko-consider yung environmental impact. So, yun lang siguro kasi napaka-short po ng time natin ngayon. And sana through this meeting, meron pa pong marami pang mga opportunities for growth para dito sa effort na to. Yan. Thank you, Miss Lia, Larnie, and the JVP community.
Thank you po, Miss Mona.
Thank you, Ben.
Sige po. Meron pa po ba suggestion, sharing?
Pag ako, okay lang.
Sige
Ang tawag
po,
dito,
Miss
si
Gwen.
Dab
Sige po.
pala, ano ba to? Sorry.
Sige po,
Gwen,
Miss
hindi na
Gwen.
ako mag-open ng screen, ha? Naririnig niyo ako, okay lang. Ha? Hi, Lia, long time no see. Kudos and
Hi,
thanks.
Gwen.
Siyempre,
Okay.
proud na proud ako for you. Oo, di ba?
Of course. Oo, salamat, Gwen.
Oo. Nagkataon yung mga trip ko sa Davao. Sayang, di tayo nagkita. Nung dati nagkita tayo with your husband pa, di ba? Pero yung mga last ko for the Laudato Si with Father Michael, sayang hindi tayo nagkita. Anyway, so talagang kahit
Based,
medyo masama.
based na ako
Ayan.
ulit sa Manila, 2017 pa. Nagchismisan na,
Kaya
sorry na. I'm based
baka
in Manila.
siguro. Tama, baka naman kaya. Anyway, there. So yung ano ko, thank you. Tama, i-continue sharing this. Gusto ko lang idagdag, yung kita mo, sinend ko na ba sa chat? Mag-present kaya kayo dito sa summit na to? Nabalitaan yun. Have you ever attended our Green Convergence Network? Although wala ako sa core group, but I helped form this network years ago. Nung JPEPA pa yung issue, yung dumping, naalala niyo yung dumping ng waste na binablock natin yung treaty ba yun? Ano ba yun? Binablock namin yung agreement. So anyway, with Eco Waste and Greenpeace, etc. So ngayon, anyway, out of all this, yung isang network na form, yung tinatawag na Green Convergence, ko alam ko narinig mo na, with sila Dr. Nina Galang.
Yeah.
So may summit sa February, baka pwede kayong mag-submit ng paper kasi i-connect lang, sorry, late ako ng konti doon sa talk mo. Hindi ko alam kung na-connect nyo syempre yung issue ng plastic waste or the waste with climate change. And then, pwede nating sabihin, this is a solution kasi pag sumobrang daming waste, di ba? And mga toxins, yung climate, di ba? Mas magaling kayo mag-ano yan, hindi ko maano paano nga i-connect. Basta nako-connect natin yan, may connect yan, hindi ko lang maayos masabi. Yun. So, ito, submit kayo dito kasi in response dun sa sinasabi ng lady. Sino yung lady na gusto wants to join more talks and forums? Sa bagay, marami kasing mga issues sa environment. Pero hindi ko alam kung ang interest niya lang about ecological solid waste or about climate change. Then, sa bagay, lahat naman ho yan interrelated talaga. So, there. Yun. So, yun. Tapos, ano pa yung suggestion ko? Hindi ko alam. Ang suggestion ko din, tingnan
Wala sa
natin.
Manila, Miss Gwen.
Ha?
Wala sa Manila.
Yeah.
Iloilo yan eh.
Sino yung nagsalita kanina? Hindi. Hindi.
Yes.
Yung the summit will be in Iloilo. So, if you can fly to Iloilo, I don't know kung gagawin nilang hybrid dito eh. Tatanungin ko nga. So, anyway, if not, i-like nyo na rin yung page nila. Lagay ko, Green Convergence Philippines ata. Yung sa akin, like nyo na rin. Ay pala yung NGO ko pala, Green Research. Pero hindi kami kasing, small lang kami. Green Research, Environmental Research Group, Inc. O, lagyan nyo. May Facebook page kami. Yung Green Convergence, iba yung Facebook page. Yun yung mas malaki network yun eh. Tapos meron din kaming mga monthly sa Green Convergence, may month. Nag-talk ka na ba doon, Lia? Hindi pa. Yung kamayan sa kalikasan. Kamayan para sa kalikasan, hindi pa. O sige, sabihin ko kay Dr. Nina na i-schedule. Yun. And then magkita tayo. Magkita tayo soon sa mga events. Si Shine may concert pala yung aming batch sa December. Ewan ko kung alam na ni Shine with Bukas Palad.
Hi Gwen. Gwen, paki-type na lang yung mga ano mo kasi may mga iba pang nag-rate.
Tapos na. Nag-mute na ako. Blast tonight ko na. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yung Galaxy please.
Hello, good morning po. Ako po yung pangalan ko is Pe Tapia from Naga City. I'm grateful na na-invite ako dito. Naririnig niyo pa ako?
Opo.
Opo. I'm grateful po na na-invite ako dito yung una po ay yung Sinits, yung nagsalita about yung kanyang insights about the environment. And kahit na nga po very very short lang naman yung presentation pero very informative. Sabi nga siksik na siksik. And malaking tulong and na-realize ko rin na ang dami pa pala naming dapat malaman that na-share nyo. So yung concern ko naman po, although appreciated ko yung mga sinabi na pwedeng mag-organize ng convention on summit para for a greater scale, ang naiisip ko naman po ganito. Nakita ko yung number of participants dito, 50 something, madami na din. And I'm sure sana natutunan ditong more information. Lahat naman po will try na ma-practice yung mga natutunan and i-share. Pero ang concern ko naman is, paano natin ito mapapaabot sa masa na talagang yun talaga ang dapat ma-enlighten ng lahat. So, ako po yung nag-chat na siguro pwede rin mag-collaborate tayo sa mga parishes, sa mga organizations na ang trust is about a stewardship of the environment. And kami po magkakaroon nga po kami ng Zoom meeting mamaya, and it's the Christian Family Movement, and isa sa mga pinupos namin is stewardship of the environment, spirituality of the environment. And I will highly recommend po na ma-share ito, kaya I ask kung pwede kayo ma-invite. So yun po, sana marami pa pong ganito, para kahit po nagtatrabaho kami sa bahay kasi binagyo kami, binaha, but still nakaka-participate kami. We are learning from you. Thank you very much. Salamat po.
Salamat. Kung yung mga gustong ma-contact si Lia at saka si Arnie, naka-post po sa chat box ang number nila. So, paki-ano na lang po.
Sige. Thank you very much.
Salamat din po at sana po okay ang recovery niyo sa Naga. Our thoughts are with you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, meron pa po ba? Meron pa po? Baka hindi po kayo makatulog mamaya kung hindi nyo matanong or ma-share ang inyong natutunan ngayong umaga.
Pero we would need to leave in a bit na rin ha.
Yeah,
Kasi
opo.
case pray for help, pray for us. Meron kami presentation nila Arnie sa Quezon City Hall this afternoon. Kasi finalist ang BTB sa isang, ano bang award yan? Quezon City Awards, Arnie? I forget. So
Green Awards.
Green Awards. So please send us good thoughts.
Sige po. So kung wala na po, Kuya Blas?
Maraming salamat, Lia.
Meron lang ako, sandali. Quick lang. Kasi she mentioned yung lady from Naga about wanting to engage with others. So I placed there yung mga Facebook page ng Green Convergence, Laudato Si Movement. And tonight, meron pang event, National Encounter. Baka gusto rin lang. Ipopost ko na lang dito. Anyway, check nyo lang yung Facebook saka yung invite. Baka, kasi sa church So ito maganda to, Laudato Si National Encounter tonight. Yun lang. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Arnie. Thank you, Lia. And congratulations. So,
Salamat din.
Salamat din po for having us.
Who wants to contact them, kindly get their numbers. Naka-post sa chat box. So maraming salamat din sa lahat, and I hope we will be able to learn and participate in this. Kailangan natin to for our Mother Earth. Thank you.
Thank you so much po. Happy weekend.
Bye-bye. Thank you
Enjoy
for
your
having
Bye,
us.
happy
po.
weekend. Thanks again.
Thank you, Ma'am Lia and Ma'am
Salamat din
Laarni.
po. Salamat po
Thank
sa
you, JVP.
opportunity to share.
Thank
So
Thank you,
proud of
JVP.
you. Thank you.
JVP.
you po.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye po.